Hey, hey!
You know, I actually did that for a little bit on What's Happening. I had a contest called Shaboing. So if they listened to the radio and they heard Shaboing, I kind of doctored my voice and it sounded a little better, like that, more cartoony.
Right.
Then they could get a hold of, there was something on Facebook that they could mess with, or they had to go to the magazine and find the Shaboing. I would hide it on different pages. And if they found the first person that went to Facebook and said that's where the Shaboing is,
okay,
then they would win. I mean, I had lunch giveaways and I don't know, I forget what all the stuff, peanut gift baskets and
that's cool.
All kinds of stuff.
That's cool.
But like always, everything takes work. And I had to simplify.
Absolutely. Maybe you didn't hide it well enough and there were too many winners.
Well, there was only one winner. It would have been the first one to respond.
Gotcha.
Nuts.
Now,
Crazy.
did you fashion that sound after the old school coil door stops?
Of course. Well, the cartoony thing.
Which did offer a
it
lot
also,
of fun.
You know, it's been heard over time in different areas.
If only y'all just saw that. So
you
sorry.
will soon, because we will be doing our shows Facebook Live, and then it'll go on Rumble, and then YouTube platforms, then it'll go to radio, then it'll go to Spotify.
Wow, we've got a lot of manners to work on with you then.
No.
If people get to look at you.
No, sex sells.
We are going to make a big $0.
Who was it at the distillery the other day said, "Hey, you want to sing?" I said, "Why? Do you want to be chased out of here quickly, or do you want to drink some bourbon?" So, you know.
Well, but you know what? Everybody sounds like Elvis after you've had a couple, or everybody thinks they sound like Elvis.
That's true. Oh, guess what we can start doing if we, you know what? I'm not going to tell them. I'll tell you on break.
Oh, I'm going to have a secret.
You're going to have a secret.
Are you a good secret keeper?
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Half the time I don't even remember anyway. They tell us the secret.
Hey, tell Timothy. He won't remember, so it'll be
You remember
great.
when we hid that bot? I'm like, body? The hell are you talking about? That was a body?
What's your name again?
He's like, "Oh."
Gosh, I'm horrible with names.
Well, the older you get, the more you complete senility.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, full circle, you mean?
I guess so. I mean, yeah, Ryan at 2.5, 3 years old will grabbing women's butts, and I figure I can get away with it somewhere in my 70s, or if not,
80s maybe.
I'm going to go with 70s, but I'm going to use the Benny Hill hidden hand trick, where a fake hand's hanging in my pocket along with the real hand, but the other, beep, and then they turn and they see me, and then they see Tony.
You've got
and
how
Tony's
many
like,
years to perfect this act?
Well, I am an actor. I can always pretend I'm 70 tomorrow.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Acting. Do you remember who used to say that?
Who?
John Lovitz from Saturday Night Live.
I like Lovitz.
Acting coach.
He was?
Yeah, on a skit.
Oh.
And he would perform something as an actor, but at the end every time he'd say acting.
Don't remember it all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There was about 20 years I didn't watch Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, 30, maybe 35. I think the last time I seriously watched it was the early 80s. They had a Mona Lisa with pubic hair kind of skit. I thought, how weird.
No, you didn't hit it in the 90s or the early 2000s at all? SNL.
The statue? No.
Like when, oh my gosh, David Spade was on. I mean, Adam Sandler, I can take or leave. No big deal. But
I love
Chris
him in The
Farley.
Waterboy. I like him in his movies. Oh my God, he's incredible.
Did you see him in, what was it?
Spanglish?
Uncut Gems?
I started to watch it. Something went wrong with Fay Wray and King Kong, and I never went back to it. Was it good? I heard it was good. Did you see Spanglish?
What are you talking about?
What? I didn't.
King Kong?
It's a saying. Something went wrong with Fay Wray and King Kong.
Oh. See, that's before my time,
Claude
man.
Rains was the Invisible Man.
Oh,
I really
no.
got hot when I saw Jim McScott fight a trivet that chew poison and kills. It's it's lyrics from Rocky Horror.
Oh, so I'm going to tell you, I've never seen it.
Ew. Okay, then. So you were talking to me, I forget, maybe messaging. You said something. We were talking about summers in New Jersey versus West Virginia.
Yeah, you're a Jersey boy. I'm a West Virginia girl. So we didn't have the leisure of a ocean near us. You know, we could go to a lake or a creek or a crick if you have it, or a puddle. You know, even a puddle to a kid is a body of water that you can indulge in. So I was just curious about how you, and I know we're different generations, but we're close enough to have.
I don't think this parlays out to a generation. I think we all share the same bond no matter what decade it is, because if you're playing in a creek, there's still a creek. You're playing in the ocean, it's still the ocean. True, it could be Rock Lobster playing in the background or Beyonce. I mean, you know. But.
Right. But how did you, as a kid, I guess, how did you spend your summers in New Jersey? What was the...
Well, summers in New Jersey, well, I mean, if you want my life or in general.
What did you experience? I don't care about other people.
During the wintertime in New Jersey, it's a ghost town except for residents.
Oh, we're not talking about... I said summer.
We're talking summer.
Yeah.
All the people that have summer homes come down in the summer.
Yep.
So my neighborhood would go from scary to I had kids to play with.
0 to 100.
Yeah.
I got you. Because it was touristy. It's a tourist attraction.
Yes, and a lot of the people that had summer, it was kind of sad because when I lived in the Atlantic City, it was the transition from a once beautiful neighborhood to a ghetto.
Gotcha.
So there were blocks that were just ghetto, and then there was like on certain blocks on the ocean block, there were still beautiful homes next to a burned out home.
Sure.
A dilapidated apartment building next to a nice 4-story. Mm-hmm. It was weird.
Well, I will tell you, I went on a trip to Nude to Atlantic City once, and I remember it was a bus trip with my mother. And I remember as soon as you got away from the casinos, it was like you were in a totally different town.
Yeah, you do not, it's not safe to walk anywhere but the Boardwalk or Pacific Avenue.
Wow.
Sad, but that's
more than just Jersey.
It's everywhere. So
everywhere USA.
Urban, rural blight. It doesn't matter. It used to just be called urban blight. Now it's both.
Now,
it's just blight.
Did you have Jersey Shore type people like they show on TV? I mean, is the stereotype?
In South Jersey, they're not like you see on Jersey Shore or that kind of. Up there, they're a little rude. Now, the whole state's kind of hyper and aggressive. South Jersey tends to be passively aggressive like me, and up North Jersey, rude and obnoxious and cutting you off, flipping you the bird, and everything they're stereotyped for.
Okay.
They would come down in the summer, and we hated them. And then who we called Pensies, people from Pennsylvania that came down during the summer, they would just park in the middle of the road where there's no parking, block you in, and you're parked in a legal parking spot and go God knows where. You know, so when they would ask directions, I always sent them the completely wrong way. And we'd look for them when we were doing our splash convoy too, hookers and tourists.
Oh, is that when you pull up to a mud puddle or a
there's
puddle
no
beside
mud.
the
Yeah.
sidewalk and then gun it?
Yeah, Atlantic City had some perfect, I mean, there's about a 12, 13 block radius where if you circle back around there were the deep pockets. You could get a 10, 12-foot wave going at somebody. We had 3 cars in a convoy, hit one guy, the look on his face by the third car was priceless, but I know what you're after. Here's what Atlantic City did offer, going up at the shore, seasons. So, like, more so than a season at the beach here in North Carolina.
Sure.
So you would have crowded summers, but you would have empty beaches in the wintertime.
Right.
And snow, a blizzard snow on the ocean.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's beautiful. We lived on the block where the very last and longest jetty was before you got into the inlet.
Okay.
Where Brigantine was across like a little island type thing. On the in the interior of that jetty, because on the other side it was deep ocean, because it went out for maybe 400 yards.
Okay.
It was a long jetty.
Yeah.
On the inside of it, because during high tide it would pour water through.
Sure.
And it would fill up about, I don't know, a quarter acre of like this little no wave lake for us.
Right. Okay, so you had like a little
So as a small
swimming
child,
hole.
it was warm. It wasn't cold. There
Nice.
was no, and sand sharks would get in there, and we'd mess with them.
Oh no,
No, they have no teeth. Sand sharks.
doesn't matter.
Oh no, but no.
They've got the word shark.
They're cute.
in
It's
there.
like playing with a miniature pincher. You just like boop boop boop. Starfish. You catch starfish.
That
in
would be
there.
cool. Starfish.
Yeah. So there was a lot. I miss parts of Jersey when it comes to the beach and the ocean and the boardwalk and plenty to do. You never bored. You could get up at 3 a.m. and go find something to do in Atlantic City.
Oh, sure. Now I will tell you, I did go to the Taj Mahal or the Trump, whatever the Trump casino is in Jersey, and this is like, I don't know, 20 years ago.
Well, then there was probably 4. He owned 4 properties at one time.
Okay, I don't remember. I just remember having lunch at this place, and I had chicken tortilla soup, and it was the best soup I ever had.
Well, there you go.
That was my memory, and I was so weirded out that there were no windows, no clocks, and I thought it was cool because I smoked at the time, so I thought it was cool you could smoke inside.
I remember when they phased out smoking,
Uh-huh.
and then they kept one smoker's area. And it was always at the back of the casino, and they always had the machines that nobody else wanted to play anymore.
Yeah, you can't do smoking and non-smoking in the same building. And I wonder how much they had to spend to pull that odor out of the buildings. Because I remember cleaning out my grandma's house when she moved out. And, you could still see the pictures on the wall, even though the picture had been taken down from years of nicotine buildup.
Ew, that's gross.
It was gross. I'm glad I quit. I smoked for about 10 years, but my son is 20, so I've 22 years smoke-free.
Good for you.
Thank you.
My dad used to smoke Pall Mall no filter, so his hands were always orange.
Yeah,
It was
I
creepy.
bet so. Well,
So summers in West Virginia.
West Virginia, a little simpler, not exciting like the boardwalk, but we found a way. We would make mud pies and mail them to neighbors, and I got in trouble for that. I was doing something nice. I didn't realize I was putting mud in mailboxes. I thought it was a gift.
Wait a minute. How did you get the mailman to take these?
Oh, we hand delivered them to the mailboxes.
That's a federal offense, but go on.
Well, whatever. Come get me. The statute is probably run on that, I'm thinking.
I'm not sure I'm federal.
Oh.
We'll have to look it up.
Y'all do that for me. But the woods, and if you had a friend who had a lake house or a lake trailer, you go spend time there and catching crawdads and fishing for bluegill. And we weren't close to any. We were close to Wintergreen, but that's a ski resort, so there wasn't a Busch Gardens or.
So what, as teenagers, what did you
like
do
that.
to get in trouble?
I didn't get in trouble as a teenager.
Okay, other teens other than you, what did they do to get in
well,
trouble?
let me think, because my sister was one of those teens.
Oh.
Yeah. See, she was so naughty, I felt like I had to be the good child to give my mom a break.
Teresa's got one of those.
Yeah.
Evil good.
Yeah.
And something in the middle resembles a man.
Sheesh.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I should call him.
I think smoking, there's not much to do in West Virginia. Now they have a significant meth problem, but that didn't exist back then.
Yeah, but where did teenagers go and hang out in the summertime?
In the summertime, you would either go to the mall or the roller skating rink.
Okay, yeah.
And I usually chose the roller skating rink because $5 ain't going to get you very far in the mall for a couple hours.
No.
But, if you hit Aladdin's Castle and you got a little slice of pizza, you might have some left over for a lip gloss. But, summers were spent outside, pretty much. You wake up, you do your chores, you get outside, somebody's mom will feed you, you can pee somewhere, but don't come home until it's supper time.
That's the freedom I enjoyed as a kid when it was
Yeah.
summer, and the kids that I could play with were safe. So we'd be playing sandlot, baseball,
Bicycles were big, yeah.
down the boardwalk, cops and robbers, because there were so many places to hide, Yours probably was more like Deliverance, but ours was more like Dirty Harry movie.
No, we played Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, yeah. Did you wear Daisy Dukes?
No.
I have.
We never had
size
enough
5
boys to
short
play
shorts.
with, so we had to kind of
Oh, I
mash
gotcha.
it together. But, but I would go to my friend's house and we would play fake restaurant because their mom and dad would be out working. So
I've done that with Robert.
we would
He
take
loved
the kid.
it.
I did too. We
He
did
would
too.
take he loved taking my orders at 3 years old. He'd
Yep.
be like, "What do you want?"
Just to have access to the dishes and all the, back then all the gadgets your parents used in the kitchen were toys. Anything you could get out of the kitchen was something that you could use with your Play-Doh. That was fun.
Oh, I could. Yeah, okay.
Figuring out what works best for your Play-Doh.
I liked Play-Doh as a
game.
kid because the older papers, especially with the thicker ink, would pull. You could pull off of comic books and newspapers.
Yep. So, hey, that was nice.
Oh, it turns out that there is a drought amongst some of our more larger water reservoirs.
What? We're running out of resources?
Well, at least in some of the states. I mean, we're talking about Arizona, I care. California, I'm waiting for the earthquake to separate them so they can sink into the
Just
ocean.
roll down the hill.
Colorado, I'm waiting for that giant avalanche to cover them all and smother them to death. Wyoming, Nevada, yeah, I'm cool with them. And New Mexico, old Mexico, there wasn't
been
an
there?
old Mexico. What, Mexico?
New Mexico.
No, I'm not even sure where it is.
I don't feel drawn to go there. I mean, I'm sorry, but the word Mexico's in the title, and I'm sure it's lovely to drive through, but I got issues with Mexico. So
Now, where did you pull this information from? And I can tell you it's a liberal point of view. And I'll tell you why. Because it says the ongoing drought is exacerbated by climate change. Climate isn't changing. Climate always has changed. It isn't changing any more than it has changed in the past. It's a roller coaster, always has been.
I can't reveal my sources.
Okay. So it turns out, if this guy's to believe, because now he's probably a Harvard
Hog.
or Yale graduate and therefore an idiot, but Lake Mead, Lake Powell, both made man reservations on the Colorado River are currently at their lowest levels ever. And what's funny, in Lake Mead, the lower they go, the more they're finding dead bodies.
I mean, come on.
I mean, this could
Where
be
else you gonna
accidents,
put 'em?
suicides, murders, disposal of bodies.
Disposal.
Yeah.
So
That's
I wonder
pretty
if they've
cool.
been able to identify, or if they've been down there so long, there's nothing left.
I don't know, but I mean, it's a man-made lake, but based on where it is, it could easily have things that eat flesh in them. I
True,
mean,
true.
by this time.
Well, sure.
Isn't what was that?
And the water breaks down a body.
There was one of those. Remember those corny movies came out either 80s, 90s. It was about the big alligator in Lake Mead would eat people.
Kind of.
I don't know if it was Lake Mead or not, but anyway. So anyway, for those of you listening, okay, I'm not buying into climate control because I research. I'm not going to give you my opinion on it, except it's stupid.
Listen, my perspective is we've abused the resources and we've abused the earth, and it's just retaliating.
Yeah, that's true. But if you look back in history, the things that they're pointing at as politicizing, we've had hotter years, more, colder years with tons of hurricanes, ones with hardly any. It's a roller coaster ride. We don't, as far as like the Farmer's Almanac, there's really nothing you can point at going, look, it's not changing, it's just climbing.
Have you ever followed the Farmer's Almanac?
Yeah, almost every year.
Okay. And have they been pretty true to source?
No, I don't. I don't go by their predictions. I research this after the fact to see what they were saying about weather predictions.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like watching Punxsutawney Phil, I would imagine. That guy, he needs to be fired and replaced by a gerbil.
Oh, my
Because he's always
gosh.
wrong. I think it's the struggle that they have getting him out of that tree hole.
Well, how did it even come about? And why does the person who pulls him out of the hole or hold him up for the newscasters have a top hat on? Doesn't he usually have a tuxedo and top hat on?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Why is it such a royal... That's dumb.
It's just, I mean, it's the town's way of making some money. How it started were probably two drunk Quakers that came across a
Two
groundhog.
drunk Quakers. Obviously, Quakers don't get drunk.
Oh, two drunk Quakers walked into a bar.
I feel like that's coming up here in a minute.
Yeah, the Quakers are going to be hunting me down.
All right.
There are going to be people quaking outside my door.
Listen. Well, look, if you want it from a biblical perspective with climate change and what's the other one? What's the big one?
Armageddon?
No, with the climate. Global warming.
Oh, global warming.
When Adam and Eve sinned and got kicked out of the Garden of Eden, don't roll your eyes at me. Obviously, you need a little Bible lesson. When Adam and Eve sinned and got kicked out of the Garden of Eden, the whole world fell into sin. So to me, that means so did nature. So why can't nature get uppity?
I'm sure it can.
You know what I mean?
I do. This is a living planet. Do you know that they just declassified all this UFO information, right? And the government has admitted, because there's actually a department investigating aliens. In everyday conversations, our congressmen, where you would think it's politics, this, money, this, that, they're actually now talking about non-man-made UFOs. The ones that and there are thousands of these. But you've heard people say they've seen something shoot out of the water, go vertical, hover, and then just right boom into space. That happens to be the unanswered in this government agency. So we may not even be alone. We don't know, you want to explore space, but we don't know anything about what's inside the planet we live on, really.
We have enough aliens on this planet to investigate.
I'm not talking about go back to Mexico.
I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about there's enough people in this world that are weird enough to be from a different planet.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying.
Teresa does say they should be coming back for me soon.
And what's your feel? What do you feel? Do you feel there's life on other planets?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think we'll ever prove that in your lifetime?
I think we are proof of it. I don't think we're indigenous to this planet. I do believe there were humanoids on this planet, which is why maybe we were here, or maybe we were a research team, maybe we crash landed, maybe, who knows, we were on vacation and got lost. And they were looking for a breathable oxygen planet, because it seems to me, based on all the research in space and rocks and meteors and water testing on Mars, that the premise of life in the universe would basically work the same way. There's certain planets that have the ability to create and have life.
Sure. And we don't know. We don't know.
No, I think that there's aliens inside the planet. Maybe that's where we came from. Maybe we were prisoners they didn't like, and they said, you know what? You go up there and inhabit the earth.
Well, maybe we're like just their ant farm, and we're contained, and they're just watching us.
We have unexplained missing people. Maybe it turns out we taste like chicken.
Look in Lake Mead. Let it drain down, and let's see how many license plates we can find.
But I just don't think we're indigenous to the planet. We rely on too many things where most of the other life forms on the planet are fine in their own environment. They don't need shoes, jackets. They don't need TV.
That's because we're people.
Well,
we're weak.
We're just animals, really.
We're weak. That's right.
Mm-hmm. We are weak. I curse being human every day. If there is an afterlife, please bring me back as a spirit form. This human stuff, I don't really like it. It's icky.
Right. Get rid of all the drivers. That's where most people are icky.
Go, baby,
on
driver.
The road.
I mean, we can't keep doing the best stuff when we're not on the radio.
I know, so shut up and don't talk to me until you turn it back on.
Fine. What are we talking about? That sucks.
Older actresses who are bearing all to keep relevant.
Yeah, I don't...
Nope. Get rid of it.
What?
Just get rid of it.
No, it's not that. I mean, I know what you mean, and I really don't have any interest in seeing, the soggy bottom girls at all, to be honest with you. What?
Are we...
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, dag!
So I pushed the button.
Oh, my gosh. I was too busy. I had sat too long in the hair and makeup chair.
Is that why you were doing all those weird gestures?
We need that on radio, hair and makeup.
Hair and makeup, makeup and hair. So, yeah, I guess I don't know. Teresa follows celebrities more than me. Like, I might mention somebody in passing. She's like, oh, they were married like 21 years. They have 4 kids, and he cheated on her back in 2016, but now they're back together. And I'm like, I don't care.
I know, but because she does, just be like, oh, okay.
No, that's not one of the mutual things we do for each other.
I
So-
gotcha. Well, I don't follow celebrities, but you can't not see them. Like when I'm researching all these amazingly wonderful topics for the show, you're going to hit a celebrity story every now and again.
Oh no, I'm fine
and
with it.
sometimes I will say they're married to her or them two hooked up. You know what I mean?
It's always a surprise to me.
Right, but other than that,
Like
I
Jason
don't care.
Momoa, I found out he was married to.
Lisa Bonet.
Yeah, she's so foul. She's been foul since like the '90s. I mean, I wouldn't touch her with somebody else's.
But at least,
But even worse, but look at what Will Smith is married to.
listen, I don't care about
She's
all
horrible.
that. Here's I guess here's the bottom line for me. If you're an actor, all I want from you is acting. I don't want to hear your opinions on politics.
No.
I don't want you to do. I don't care about your causes. Don't do it in If
Well,
it's that
there's a-
important, you serve behind the scenes. You don't make it a public event, but just act. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what your beliefs are. Just act. That's what you serve to the people in this world.
It's backfired on them.
I know.
Because, I mean, they're not making as much money as they used to, and there's a hell of a lot of flops. And the movies that aren't flopping are patriotic and don't have that message. Nobody, I mean, the audience for all these award shows are incredibly down. Even the NFL is
Right.
down. The NBA needs to be completely disbanded and kicked out of the country.
Well, I think the streaming networks changed the whole movie game. I don't think there'll be movie theaters much longer.
No, and you know what? Fine.
It's too expensive.
It's too expensive, and you know what? Well, let me take that back. I think we're going to see them gone, and they will make a resurgence. Because I have faith that good will conquer over evil. And just like happening now, there are new movie production companies that are coming out that do not represent the liberals.
Right.
They're conservative, or they're patriots, or they're in the middle, they're nondescript, or whatever. And they're putting out movies.
Right.
Now, when they can get to the point where they can release that movie in a movie theater, but considering that most of the movie theater chains are owned by subsidiaries of China, that's difficult because they're trying to paint one message, so they're not going to allow another.
Right,
My
right.
head's starting to hurt.
Look, I'm still waiting for the drive-in movie theater to make a comeback.
It did in Violent, New Jersey. That was the hottest spot when we moved there.
Gosh, why did that fade out? That was a good time.
It was a good. Well, I think a lot of it had to do with
Too many people going there to
videotapes, video rental
yeah,
stores,
and it's laziness.
and
People
the
got
equipment
lazy.
got old. I mean,
Yeah.
they were around for 30 years in popularity, and the screens might be damaged. I'm sure everything's expensive. I mean, what I could imagine a movie screen that size got to be $100,000
Yeah.
at least.
We went to one about 10 years ago in Smith Mountain Lake.
That
Watched
sounds pretty. Where is that?
Virginia.
Okay.
It's about, I'm going to say maybe 3 hours away from here. I mean, it's lovely. It's beautiful in the fall, of course. But they had a drive-in movie theater and then had an old, one of those old Airstream diners that you could go grab something to eat and then go to the movies.
I love a good diner.
Oh, I know.
A good diner.
Is there any?
In Jersey, yeah. I don't know about
Jersey.
here.
We're not in Jersey.
Well,
How about for the locals? Any good diners? I
around
will
here, not
say
that I'm aware of.
it's a chain, but it's pretty good. It's Metro Diner in Suffolk. I think the best thing there is breakfast, and they make these pancakes that are, I think they put vanilla in the batter or something. I don't know, but it's just not pancakes you make when you're at home. They're elevated.
Oh, by the way, that reminds me, pancakes. Weldon Mills coming out with a maple whiskey.
Yes, what you said.
3 tequilas.
3 tequilas.
A Blanco, a lavender lime, and a hibiscus ginger.
I bet that lavender lime will sell pretty good.
They're actually all really good. Even though I'm a bourbon guy, I like a good tequila. I don't mind tequila at all.
Every now and again I'll have a margarita, but
I still got that vodka. Didn't you get me that?
No, I got Teresa that.
Oh, she gave it to me.
She didn't like it?
She can't drink anything with tequila in it, or I get arrested. Okay?
So what happens to her when you drink tequila?
My clothes fall on, thankfully.
My clothes fall on.
That's right.
That's romantic.
Thank you. So the buzz everyone's talking about is the Joe Biden forgiving $300 billion worth of student loans. Now, before we get going on our different opinions on it, don't think if you have a student loan out there, it's probably not going to happen because it's unconstitutional. The president does not have the power to do that. It's an act of Congress, and it did not go through Congress. So, yes, the current administration is disregarding all rules and laws and ordinances, and they are openly doing whatever they want. However, a judge should stop that. But it's just wrong. I mean, it's putting me and you on the hook for somebody that is learning at Yale how to be a Marxist socialist.
Yeah, I mean, there's baggage tied to it. I mean, if you want to help them out, how about you just stop charging interest on the loans so they can pay them off faster?
Yeah, or not a high interest rate or no penalty fees, or how about you start at the grassroots? Books. The price of books could put a student into debt.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
That is ridiculous. Why don't people just turn them back in and cycle them like we do in elementary school?
I'm sorry.
Or a library?
I looked into publishing a book, and now this is a little bit a couple years ago, but it wasn't that expensive. So if you're telling me you're charging X amount of dollars for something you paid that for, the markup is that much, you're ripping them off right out of the get-go.
That's eyeglass frames.
I know.
Do you know the markup on eyeglass frames is like 300% from what it costs to make them?
I'm sure.
And I think there's one or two companies that are the only ones that manufacture all eyeglass frames.
Oh, a monopoly, is it?
I'm telling you what.
But
Well, and then I feel for the people who have busted their asses, like Dale, to pay off their student loan debt so they don't start their life in debt. Should they not get reparations?
Well, how about somebody like me who didn't go to college, but I still worked my tail to the bone? I had to invest in things that in my businesses, just like you're investing in college for your future.
Sure.
What do I get back?
You get the reward of paying for somebody else's education.
No.
And here's the thing. Then everybody should be afforded a opportunity to go to college.
Well, they are, but then here's the problem. I mean, there are so many serpent heads on this monster.
Yeah.
Okay, where it started to put it started when the government was put on the hook for these loans. It should be, you should put the burden of responsibility on the school. For example,
Yep.
if they say, okay, we're going to submit a loan for you, it's going to be $100,000 over these 4 years, and you're going to end up at the end, you're going to have a degree to go become a social worker. It's not logical. What's a social worker make? Probably $28,000 around here.
Not as much as they
40
should.
in the bigger cities.
Not as much as they should.
But needless to say,
Right.
that's not good financial
No.
planning.
That's still living paycheck to paycheck.
But you're at best going to never pay it back because you're always going to be compounded.
Right.
But if the school was on the hook, they don't care if that social worker's never going to pay it back because the government's on the hook. But if you put the school as burden of responsibility, this would all change.
That's true.
Instead of, meaningless courses, I look up some of these people that get me really angry on Facebook. I just click on their profile just to see what they are. They're almost always from certain states. They're almost always in some kind of education field. And you think to yourself, maybe I wouldn't mind paying for America's children to be educated if they were actually being educated and not indoctrinated.
But you know what? If we poured more into teachers leading up to college, I think most students wouldn't need to go to college to be able to get into the job field and be successful and not have to roll into being a chef, at the Olive Garden for years to
All right,
build
well,
up
that goes back
anything.
to the biggest the teachers union. Corrupt as hell, openly pushing for CRT and LGBT, all these things that they shouldn't be involved in.
Right.
Yet they're the ones that created the bubble. They, like North Carolina, lowered their standards. I mean, what is passing would be failure to us back when we were in school.
Right. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I believe, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken, I looked at the new requirement level that they were putting out. I believe it was a 45 was the F. A 45.
No, it used to be, what, 70? Below 70 was
Below
an
70
F.
was an F, yes.
Because everything else was a D.
Yeah.
I know, but if you're not doing anybody any good lowering the standards.
You're passing kids along just to get them in the next grade and get them out of the
That's
school.
right. That's right. And if you invested in the teachers more, there wouldn't even be a shortage.
But see, then again, that's the other head. Here's another head. You want to invest in the teachers, but that core of each individual teacher, are they willing to teach without their own agenda?
I would think so, but
I don't agree.
I think the school system has put so much on them with testing, these just obnoxious amounts of tests to check and see how the school's doing, to check and see how the students are doing, to check and see how the teachers are doing. Well, my gosh, the students' grades are going to tell you how the teachers are doing. But, there's just so much put upon a teacher agenda-wise that the school does, or the school board, or the school system, or whatever, that they aren't free to just teach.
I agree, but I also believe that there's a lot of evil in teachers now.
There's a lot of evil everywhere.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be in the teaching realm. You got to weed them out. I mean, there are so many liberal-leaning, progressive, Marxist, socialist backing teachers out there infecting our children.
I know.
Even here.
I know.
Even here. You and I know school teachers very well, and they'll tell you the stories of what other teachers are doing and what the schools are making them do and how they're affecting the children.
Because everybody's afraid to get their feelings hurt or for somebody to call them out. But you know what? That's life. You can't please everybody.
No, but I'm a firm believer that the entire school system needs to be completely flushed and
redone,
but not by an administration with this mentality. I want a moral. Like, I don't want religion back in schools, but morality's fine.
Right.
I don't want conservative. I want patriotic.
Listen, I'm not a political person. I'm just not smart enough to wrap my head around it. And I've got more important things.
You get it.
I get it. I mean, I know right from wrong and good from bad.
That's it. That's the core.
This move with the paying off student debts, you know what it feels like? It feels like the rich kid in school trying to buy the beer for everybody else to buy their friendship. It feels like a payoff. Look what I did for you. So now you can scratch my back.
By voting for me, yes.
Yeah.
All the illegal immigration, all the things that, we're going to have lower gas up until midterms.
Yeah, sure.
Then it's going to go back up and well over $5. In fact, they're predicting $7 to $10 a gallon. For them to push us into electric cars by 2030, they have to make it so we can't afford it.
Don't the electric batteries harm the environment more than help it?
Yeah, they're much worse for the environment. They're bigger. They're hard to dispose of.
Oh, Jesus, take the wheel.
And they're charged by, guess what? Fossil fuel anyway. So, but I just found out today that the first form of economic social governance in the banking industry has taken effect. It's in Australia. But remember, what's going on is a global thing. It's a global reset.
Yep.
First Bank, they will not now give auto loans to anybody for a gas-powered vehicle. It's starting. And the only way we can fight it here is to find out if our bank is a part of that. And if they are, we have to take our money out and put it in. Like Siku, I'll keep on them, but I'm pretty sure Siku will not be involved in that.
Well, all I know is we need to get the A-team back together.
That's right.
They'll know how to fix it.
I look good with a cigar, and I love when a plan comes together.
Where is Hulk Hogan when you need him?
And definitely Dale's Murdoch.
You think?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I don't know. You kind of look like Murdoch. Is that the guy with the hat?
That's the guy with, Face and Murdoch both
Face.
wore a hat.
Dale would be Face.
He's too goofy. He's more like Murdoch. I can be serious.
That's true. He can too, but he just chooses not to be.
Whatever his reasoning is, it's still the end game's the same. But we don't have a Mr. T.
We will have a Mr. T.
Oh, really? Who?
I don't know, but we will. Who would
I don't
be a
know.
good
6 years
Mr.
ago,
T?
maybe.
Well, there's always
I was pretty big then.
Carl Weathers.
Really? Apollo Creed, baby. Coming at you.
He's patriotic.
I love his underwear. Or his boxing trunks.
Yep.
Whatever they were.
That was very American.
Damn sexy. I've been sniffing catalogs, just in case you were wondering what that sound was.
That's what Timothy's telling you, but we
you
all know
just
what
invited me to sniff your inline.
U-line.
Whatever. Is that what they call it
Well,
nowadays?
we were just talking, we need to cleanse the palate with something fun and fresh after talking about politics.
I wasn't talking about politics.
Well,
I was talking about an issue.
He was.
That's
but now
the
we're
thing.
not talking about that.
But
let's lighten the up.
But let's stay on that for 1 second.
Oh, Lord.
To really talk politics, we're talking about who's elected, who's not, how they're going to get elected, a political party, their platforms. When you're talking about an issue, the way that it's diffused by the opposite side of your opinion is, no, we're not going to get political. But we're talking about an issue. No, it's political. How's it political? Climate change. Oh, it's political.
Because everything's made political.
Right, so I'm talking about my soiled underwear. Oh, man, don't get political on me.
That's right. That is so liberal of you.
Oh, I know. And oh, my God, how insulting.
And people, I promise you will never talk about Timothy's underwear. I don't care
I don't wear
what
any,
side
so
that
we
you
don't
fall
need to
on.
talk about it. I like to go a la carte.
He's the donkey and the elephant.
Yep, they slap together like two wet leather boots on a hot Sunday morning.
Speaking of smells, so I don't know. We got this catalog at work the other day, and it's this thick catalog from Uline, which is a shipping supplies and office supplies.
I ordered my sandbags from them.
Okay. I don't know the integrity of the company. I've never used them.
You might want to get 500 bags yourself.
I'll just come over here.
No, you'll need your own. I'm not sharing.
No, I'll just come over here.
Oh, okay.
And stay behind the sandbags that you've placed already.
Okay.
Right? Because
Yes.
we are digging that underground tunnel. Oh, you don't know about that.
No, there's nothing about
Never
that.
mind.
Yes.
But anyways, this big, how many inches would you say that is? Good 2 inches thick? 3 inches?
No, it's probably 1 3/4 inches.
See, I'm so good at that stuff. And
And nothing compared to like the J.C. Penney catalogs or Sears back in the
Sears
day.
Christmas
I used to love to
catalog.
sniff them.
That's what this smells like. Smell it. Please smell it.
And if you want me to tell you what the weirdest thing I ever smelled was, I will.
Well, I will. We'll get
I
there.
don't know if we could say it on the
Oh,
radio.
geez. Smell it.
God, yeah.
I'm telling you.
Oh, God, yeah.
New catalog smell.
It smells a lot like a fresh Playboy magazine.
I don't.
When you first get it, not when it becomes one page.
Okay, no, gag reflex is kicking in. Oh, see? That's how thick it is. That's how many inches it's thick.
That's right. I let it out. I mean, you're making me crazy, man.
Did that not smell nice?
Oh,
It's nostalgic, I think, is what it is.
That's what people should wear a cologne, catalog smell,
Oh, yeah.
newspaper smell, Play-Doh, a little Play-Doh behind the ears.
Yes. Oh, new box of Crayola crayons.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's like crack.
When you were looking to go out and get a one-nighter, that's what
I'm
you
going
wear
to
right
sniff
there.
a box of 24 is what I'm going to do.
You rub it all over
Holy
your
crap,
body.
that smells good. Fresh cut grass. I love fresh cut grass.
True.
Not the oniony, but, or when it smells like watermelon right after it rains.
I like freshly cut grass. My mom was into smelling gasoline. She liked gasoline.
I used to like it, but that was back when I was a kid and every gas station was full service. Do you remember those days?
Well, yeah, in Jersey, they're still full service.
Oh, see.
And less price. Gas is cheaper in Jersey.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, something with the
Well,
state taxation.
everything else is expensive in Jersey.
Yes and no. Yeah, if you're in like rich parts, but if you're just in regular burb, like say here, people say, oh, it's a lower cost of living down here. Not necessarily. It's a give or take. Like we have property tax on our vehicles. They do not.
Right.
Different things like that. So, I mean, give or take, it's about the same to live everywhere.
Right. It all works out the same because you get paid more to pay those prices up in Jersey, I'm sure.
Right.
But,
I could even imagine how much you have to make in like San Francisco to have an efficiency apartment that costs $3,000 a month while some guy's urinating and shooting up on the street.
Well, that's New York City.
I know.
That's always been an issue. Real estate and real estate prices.
I don't understand why these big cities aren't a little angrier with their government because these thriving communities that we've seen on TV shows or visited or heard about, the famous areas, they're dead. They're empty. Stores are boarded
Right.
up. Some of the hottest restaurants are closed. I mean,
They don't want you to see the end result of their game.
well, it's going to be difficult. There's millions of people with smartphones in New
Okay,
York City. So.
stick with me on the smells.
Oh, smell it, yes.
You said what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen? Now, do we need to warn children to leave the room before you say anything?
It's not.
Do I need to have a trash can beside?
It's not smelling something on a person.
No.
That
I'm
would
just
be a
saying,
little too far.
It's on.
Because I do have my, my idiosyncrasies when it comes to stuff like that, just like everybody else.
All right. So, what's the weirdest thing you've ever smelled?
I believe it was 1976. Hustler put out a magazine. Hustler was a porn magazine.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Okay,
They
not
put
that
out a
green.
scratch and sniff centerfold that
What?
I shoplifted from the corner store at Pacific in Illinois. I can say that because that's definitely statute of limitations is up.
Right.
He caught me when I tried to steal comic books, but I was successful at other times. I was very good when I was a kid.
I
at this.
gotcha. Like
and
the
that
little,
was the weirdest thing I ever sniffed.
Like the little sidekick on Indiana Jones. Is that what you were like, little hustler?
Yeah, I could shoplift. Like my mom went into, it's like a Walmart that has a grocery section.
Yes.
Okay, JM Fields, that was the name of the store up there.
Okay.
So while she went shopping, I, as a 10 or 11-year-old, I could just go through the store because it was a different time.
Yes.
Now I'd end up in, box being sold to some Japanese
Right.
businessman.
Right.
But back then, you just go to the store and you left your cars unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted all the superhero collection. Now, we're not talking about little figurines. We're talking about 18 to 24-inch superhero
Action
dolls.
figures.
Action figures. But back then, they had real clothes.
And
They were
joints.
big and, joints. And
Hair. Some had real hair.
So my mom took a while in there, and I shoplifted 8 of those suckers
What?
and a battle tank. Yep, gone.
Dang. See, I was
Then
never
she
that
saw
brave.
me with them. She, where you get them? I'm like, I traded some of those comic books for them, Mom. Oh, okay.
You're braver than me. I stole a glitter set from Hill's department store once, and my mom busted me. And I lied about it, so that was 2 sins. And then, do you remember when, I know you know the baseball cards with the piece of gum in them. Well, back in the 80s, that became a trend with, like, singers or bands that were famous and stuff. So I remember stealing from our little podunk store down.
Podunk? Was that the name of it?
No, but
What is podunk?
podunk is
I've heard you say it
teeny
before.
tiny. Have I?
Podunk.
It's just in a teeny tiny.
Ooh-wee! Look, there's
Country
Tim. What a
town.
podunk.
Don't you love people who try to do a country accent?
Please.
Please.
I do.
Anyways, I stole the Michael Jackson gum card combos. I still have them in my sticker book. Yes, I have a
see.
sticker book. I'll bring it and show it to you one time.
Yeah.
But anyways, I can't say I don't think I can top your weirdest smell. I mean,
And
what did it smell? What did
Here's
it
the thing.
smell like?
then I wouldn't know of its accuracy.
What did they try to make it smell like? Oh my! Are you kidding me?
Yes, it was a scratch and sniff,
No.
Sussler centerfold woohoo thing. And
What the?
But I mean,
What?
now this is what's funny is unless Hustler magazine was assuming that there were children all over America shoplifting their magazine.
No, but why?
Why would they market that to adults? Because I didn't know then what it was supposed to. Later on, I do, and I don't think it did. It's sort of like Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina-smelling candles. Like, of all things,
Oh my gosh!
she comes out with that. You're aware of it, right? Her
Yeah,
vagina candles.
she is a
an-
weird person.
She's an idiot. You know, she forgets who she's been in movies with. Oh, I did a movie with you? Yeah. Bitch, it was Iron Man.
Oh my god! She has fallen off the end. But the thing is, she got a lot of people following her and falling off the end with her. She's successful at selling the stupidest stuff I've ever seen, and it's supposed to be what a lifestyle. Anyways, I don't know the weirdest thing I've ever smelled.
Do you like smelling zits? You pop one of them, it has such
Oh
a
my
unique
gosh.
smell.
Tim,
It's pungent, but it's unique.
you are not helping me want to go eat dinner.
And then one last thing is big toe jam. You know how you get it? You know, you're cutting them,
People.
and then there's got that. You finally break it off like a turkey wing,
Ooh.
and there's got that black stuff in there. If you take it and smear it between your thumb and finger, it is the most uniquely odd smell ever.
Well,
It's like, how does your toe grow that?
I'm going to take your word for it.
Oh.
The things that come out of a body or grow on a body, I can only imagine what they smell like. But I'm not one
Well, remember,
to...
we were created in God's image.
Yes,
Wait.
but not in his... Odiferous? What would be the word for
I
that?
know, but that's not mentioned in the Bible. We just said we're created in His image.
That's
you can
right.
start going down and adding stuff to it.
But
if
I
you want,
wonder, if God's going to look like what we think of. You know what I mean? Like
Pee Wee
like
Herman?
God like you think God looks one way, and He's going to look like that to you, but He's going to look like what I think He looks like to me.
I don't know. Sorry, but
Well,
we differ.
we'll
on
have
this.
when we both get to heaven, we'll have a show about it and let you know.
I won't be in heaven.
How do you know?
Mm.
You don't know.
I hope the party's obviously at the other end.
I don't want to know. But I know who. I know a lot of people who are there. I don't want to go hang out with them. I don't care. The cool
Jim
kids
Morrison,
go to heaven.
Bruce Lee. Well,
Bruce
Bruce Lee might
Lee.
be in heaven. Jim Morrison, hard to say. See, what was weird about my mom's religion, right, is there, like every religion, there's a lot of loopholes. Now, there were less loopholes in the Jehovah's Witness religion. Like, I mean, Catholic religion's tons of loopholes. You can commit any crime you want. Hail Mary, full of grace, won't that fat woman sit on my face, and you're forgiven.
Oh my gosh.
But, you know,
We
when it comes to
apologize,
the Jehovah's
Catholic
Witness
listeners.
religion, they were very odd for, like, if you died, right, before Armageddon came, you would be resurrected, okay? But if Armageddon came and you were not a true believer, you're gone. It's almost like the student loan debt thing, in a way.
So did you have to does Jehovah's Witness teach it that you have to earn your way to heaven?
Yes.
You have to do certain things through your entire lifetime to get into heaven? Okay.
Oh yeah, if you were to take a religion that really made their people earn it, that would be one of them. Because I was a Jehovah's Witness, raised as Jehovah's Witness in a Catholic neighborhood in my teens, and I was like, man, they get away with everything. And then there's like free food when you go to church, and you can drink some of that weird tasting wine if no one's looking, and there's free money put in front of you
There
to
is
take.
oh lordy.
And I'm like, but none of that. It goes on at the Kingdom Hall.
Well,
Hey,
people are more honest, but you know, people take forgiveness. I mean, I'm Christian, and you know, we're taught you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and you're good. I mean, you should choose to live your life after Him, but as long as you're saved and have accepted Him as your Savior, you'll be in heaven. Now you'll be accountable.
accountable. We eat each other in heaven?
I didn't say a cannibal. I said accountable.
Oh, okay. So
Anyways,
accountants at each other in
so
heaven.
you know, but we like to say, you know,
So you're
I'm a Christian.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm an agnostic,
Okay.
not an atheist. I'm an agnostic.
Agnostic. Okay. Well, there's margin. There's room there.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna love you to know Jesus, Tim.
I've met him. He was selling footwear outside a weird
Not
convenience store in
Jesus.
Tallahassee, Florida. Well, it said Jesus on his sign. I'm just saying.
Right. Well, you never know.
Jesus.
You never know. They say you entertaining angels.
I don't know. I would be an archangel because I like to eat at McDonald's. The
You
golden
would be a
archers.
hell's angel,
Oh yes,
and I would be a Charlie's angel.
I'm a bit
No,
more
I
of a
wouldn't.
pagan. A bit more of a pagan. I knew the pagans up in New Jersey anyway.
Of the
Motorcycle
pagan
club.
clan?
No, the MC Club. They're as big as Hell's Angels.
See, when you say pagan, I think about when. This is so stupid. Do you remember the remake of Dragnet with Tom Hanks?
I'm trying to forget it.
That's what I think of when people say pagans, that dumb little circle of the cult they were trying to go undercover into? Do you remember that?
Oh, sort of like Dirty Mike and the Boys.
Who's that? I think that's a story for another time. What do you think?
I think it's a story that we shouldn't even share on the radio.
All
But
right.
those who saw the movie, I can't remember what the movie was from, but there was a bunch of homeless, homosexual gangbangers not gangbangers that had
Yes.
sex with each other that would break into people's cars, do all that disgusting stuff in their cars. They smell because they're unbathed. They're doing all those weird things in the person's car. And when the people would come, they're like, "Oh my God, what in the hell happened in here?"
A movie was made about that?
No, it was a section of a movie. They kept referring to this gang of gay homeless guys that would break into cars and do all these sex acts, and they
Oh
would
my
call it Dirty
gosh.
Mike and the Boys.
Oh.
I can't remember what movie that was in. It's a well-known mainstream movie.
Well, now you have homework.
I think it was that weird guy that cries a lot that always tries to get the Georgia governor elected. He was Elf. What's his name?
Will Ferrell?
Yeah, him. That's him. Yeah,
Oh.
it's probably one of his movies. It sounds like one of his movies.
That's just gross. So your homework is to find out what movie that crew belongs to.
I know it was a Prius that they really messed up, but can't remember the movie.
Didn't Prius mess itself up?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe.